As the regular season comes to a close in the Liberty A-League, and history is open for the Perth Glory as their hopes for playing postseason football comes to a close as well. Melbourne Victory's draw this morning with the Wellington Phoenix has quashed any hopes Alex Epakis' side had of playing finals football. However, there is pride and jobs on the line as next season is coming just around the corner. We'll have a look at how the sides line up for today's match. Just the one change for the Brisbane Roar, as Claire Stevenson drops out of the entire match day squad and Tamar Levin comes in to the starting lineup in her place. Matilda's forward Larissa Crummer announced her departure from the side, heading for Europe and signing with Norwegian side SK Branner. Her departure just leaves Shay Connors as the only Brisbane player with more than one goal this campaign. Just the one change from Wednesday night's clash with Sydney FC for Perth Glory as Alana Janchevsky drops to the bench, making way for American forward Gabriella Coleman, who scored during the week off the bench and makes her first start in 4 months. It's a final Liberty A-League game for Kim Carroll, and what a side for it to come against, where she made 65 appearances for the Brisbane Roar, placing her 7th highest all-time, playing in 3 grand finals for her home state club. There as well, Shay Connors, well, she's in fine form coming into this game, the American, having such a strong season, particularly towards the back end. 7 goal involvements in her last 8 games, and really becoming the talismanic figure for this Brisbane Roar side. And it is Toowong Juniors who are walking out the Brisbane Roar, just a few short kilometres away. And as I mentioned, Kim Carroll and Ish Norrie, the captains for today, doing the coin toss. Gareth McPherson, his 2nd year in charge at the Brisbane Roar, and at the moment, as they sit in 9th position, on track for their worst ever finish as a club. So plenty of pressure on that man's shoulders. There was a late change to the lineup today as well. Sierra Hinson was named to start, the American, but dropped down to the bench. Gabriella Coleman, her first start in 4 months. And Zara Kruger gets us underway. The young Matilda was part of Leah Blaney's most recent squad. And that's a big out as well. Grace Gill, Sierra Hinson, 6 goals, 7 assists for the campaign. One of the real shining lights in this Perth Glory side this year.
Oh, she certainly has been, and Alex Epakis has spoken glowingly about her.
There's Palmer on the edge, but Fryer managed to get a foot to it, but just couldn't put her laces through.
Lively start for Brisbane, but most certainly Sierra Hinson, a player on the bench who will look, I guess, menacing to come on a little later into the match, but she was nursing some really heavy knee tape in last game and the week before too, so perhaps just a little precautionary there, but it does give Gabby Coleman another opportunity to add to not only her matches but her goal scoring for the season too.
And Kim Carroll not in any need of adding to her matches. They're now Liberty A-League equal record holder for appearances alongside Michelle Heyman. Both of those players taking over from Teresa Polias this season. And Grace Gill, I mean, 2 absolute servants to the game, particularly Kim Carroll in today's match.
Oh, well, it's a really big moment for Kim this afternoon, and I'm sure now that finals is out of the picture for this Perth Glory side, the focus then becomes about how the team, how the group can best send Kim Carroll off in the fashion that she deserves.
McQueen under a bit of pressure there from Gabriella Coleman, who has that right knee taped up. Hannah Blake starting on the right-hand side today for Perth Glory. The Kiwi mid-season acquisition has been fantastic for them. 3 goals since coming to the club. Sakalis does well to evade the traffic alongside Western Sydney Wanderers midfielder Beth Gordon, the most fouled player in the competition. 36 times so far. Doesn't draw one that time. And it's a match-up today where Brisbane really have made home their fortresses. Shay Connors trying to find herself underneath it, but the former Brisbane Roar custodian Morgan Aquino equal to it. And I don't know about you, Grace, but whenever these two sides come up against each other, it has a real old school W League feel about it. Rankin under pressure and picked up by Tash Rigby. Tees it up for Coleman, who just puts it over the bar in her first start in 4 months. And what was a gaping opportunity for the American goes begging.
Well, that's a really energetic start from Perth. Great pressure applied from Tash Rigby. That's got to be in the back of the net there by Gabby Coleman. A perfect opportunity for Perth to get scoring underway.
Brisbane Roar give it away once more. Sakalis, Perth charging forward. Sadie Lawrence winding up and won't trouble the American Hensley handcuff.
But you can see the energy in which Perth have come into this game. A high press, and they're putting Brisbane under pressure, allowing them to have the first pass. But just when that space closes down, and another look, this strike that came through didn't trouble too much in the way of Hensley handcuff. Easy task for her there.
And into the YMCA, perhaps just behind the goal here at Perry Park in Brisbane's inner north, Bowen Hills. Just a few short kilometres away from the city centre, the home of the Brisbane Strikers in the Football Queensland Premier League. Obviously a historic club in Queensland, NSL winners back in 1997. And Hannah Lowry has been so good for Perth Glory this year, standing over at 4 goals, 4 assists. Such a young talent, Grace.
Yeah, a lot of time for Hannah Lowry. Still just 19 years old. Such a technically gifted player as well, with that wonderful left foot. She will take a bit of time to line this one up. She did think there for a moment about taking that one quickly, but opts to get a few numbers into the box instead.
Scored last weekend in what was possibly the craziest game in Liberty A-League history. Their win over Melbourne City. Lowry delivering towards the back post now. Jessie Rasher rising above the pack on that occasion. Blake. In behind for Rigby, and Ishnori, the captain, equal to it. Kaya Stevenson out of the matchday squad for the Brisbane Roar. Supposed ankle injury, 6 to 8 weeks. She'll be missing out and won't really affect the Brisbane Roar with their season coming to an end today. Both sides with their final game of the campaign. Lowry from the set piece once more towards the near post, handed away by Shay Connors, I believe, on that front post, and it is Jamila Rankin, in fact. And Perth will get another bite of the cherry. Lowry to the front post once more, headed on, that time by a Brisbane player by the looks of things, in Tamar Levin. And we'll go wide for another corner, this time on the other side.
Oh, it's a wonderful delivery there from Lowry. Really good trajectory. And you've got someone the height of Hensley handcuff in goal, 6'3". To be able to put that much shape and whip on the cross in from the corner, it's a really well hit ball.
Norrie lifting it in behind for Connors. Now on the charge. Connors, first time strike over the top. And well, she's scored some worldies here at Perry Park in the last few weeks. Was unable to do so on that occasion.
But there are those moments from Shay Connors. She just gets half a look, a little bit of space. And given the kind of form she is in at the moment, just at the top of the 18-yard box, leaning back just slightly. Of their 6 shots so far, Perth Glory just managing the one of them on target.
Sophia Zakalis, such a good player, such fun to watch as well. It's one that I'm sure Perth will be wanting to get out the pen and paper for over the next few weeks and months. Obviously, they need to figure out who will be leading the team come next season. Plenty of question marks up in the air, I'm sure. Folletta. Lowry. It's won by Norrie. And Sakalis once more having a strike this time. Just over on that occasion, but lively from Sophia Sakalis.
That one had a bit more whip about it, a bit more promise behind that shot. But yet again, Zakalis looking really energetic on the ball. She just scraps really well, and her first touch taking her away from traffic and a bit of danger. And as mentioned, just the one shot still on target for Perth, despite having the better of the chances.
Fryer gets around Kane towards the near post now, and it's cut out by Liz Anton. Perth Glory, one of the more free-scoring sides in the competition this year. 30 goals for the campaign. Just about double what Brisbane Roar have managed. Plenty of shootouts last week, a perfect example of that. Melbourne City in that game, however, had an expected goals of 5.92. The most ever for a losing side in the Liberty A-League. I think Dario Vidicic for going grey very quickly with those kind of statistics.
Oh, look, I think he would have been having a few conniptions over that one.
Breaking out in night sweats and nightmares of that one at Macedonia Park, and Holly Palmer punched away by Aquino. And a brilliant save against her former side. Brisbane Roar's best chance of the game so far. And it ends at a foul and a restart for Perth Glory.
But definitely Brisbane's best chance of the match so far. Morgan Aquino, she had to be ready, she had to be alert for that. Holly Palmer, who has been excellent this year, this season, but Morgan Aquino's done really well there. A nice little dip of the shoulder from Palmer. Aquino's gone with the correct arm, and it's a strong hand away.
McQueen. And the Suns come out right before the half-time break. Fryer lifting it towards the middle, but in no particular direction or aim. This is good from Perth. Connors, can she pounce now? Driving towards Kim Carroll. Now the strike from Connors. Aquino equal to it. Anton. And that is half-time here at Perry Park in the final round of the regular season in the Liberty A-League. And it's neither side with a breakthrough at the half-time break. It is Brisbane Roar 1, or I should say 0, Perth Glory 0. Both sides on the final weekend out of finals contention. Not a whole lot to play for, other than really their audition for next season. Grayscale, both sides, both coaches yet to sign on for next campaign. Players, uncertainty surrounding them as well in terms of that, with new coaches. And, you know, with this season, both sides obviously would have been hoping to make finals. Perth Glory made a late push. The Brisbane Roar on track at the moment for their worst ever finish as a club. I mean, there's plenty for both sides to do heading into next season.
And as any competitive athlete as well, you want to go out on a high, you want to finish really strong. And every player, every team loves the feeling of winning. Even if they're not in finals, they want to be able to finish off their season on a high.
Well, the Roar have made Queensland a fortress for themselves this season, only losing one of their last 10 games in their home state. Well, they're currently drawn at the half-time break as we get underway for the second stanza here at Perry Park. Will that remain the same? Perth Glory, on the other hand, had the Roar's number in their last 3 meetings. It's perfectly balanced. 8 wins apiece, 3 draws as well across the history of this matchup. Will that change? Will either side get their nose in front? Will there be a bit of fairy tale magic for Kim Carroll's final game? Maybe we can speak it into existence. Grayscale. Limited options for Gareth McPherson.
That's very true. Kaya Stevenson, a young player who, in her appearances, has looked really lively, really energetic, and I think Brisbane Roar today feeling the fact they don't have Stevenson, they don't have Gorry, they don't have Crummer, and their attacking outlet. They're looking a little bereft of ideas on a few occasions. Shay Connors has had her head up and found a bit of space, but she doesn't have much in the way of support around her.
It's been a tough season for them, because when you look at it on paper at the start of the campaign, you've got Mariel Hecker, Ishinori, Katrina Gorry in your midfield. Mariel Hecker is out with injury pretty much from day dot, played 1 or 2 games at the start of the season. We'll get back to that in a moment as India Paige Riley floats it into the box. And Shay Connors unable to force it back inside. But then you also have Katrina Gorry taking personal leave at the start of the season for the first month. As we have another look back at the replay, it's a good ball by India Paige Riley, a mid-season acquisition. They just couldn't direct it goal bound. It's been a very tough season for the Brisbane Roar. Levin lifting it towards the back post. Jessie Rashard just over the target and almost had her second Liberty A-League goal.
Well, that almost looked too good. It was a beautiful delivery, a delightful corner. Jessie Rashard, uncontested, right on the 6-yard box, and she knows the slap of the thighs, the head back in frustration. That was Brisbane's chance to go ahead.
One by Hannah Blake. Gabriella Coleman going down in a tangle with Holly McQueen. A little bit of afters as well. And Gabriella Coleman having a few words for Holly McQueen. Is that a battle we'll see flesh out throughout the rest of the game? Just being caught there. And just a little kick out in frustration. Not entirely sure what was said between the two, but frustration's building, Grace Gill. Carroll. Great ball for Sakalis. Sakalis still threading it through for Coleman. Did she stay onside? The shot comes in and saved brilliantly by Hensley Handcuff. Doesn't manage to hang on to it, but Coleman stayed onside, got the shot off, and was saved well by Hensley Handcuff.
Yeah, that's much nicer from Perth. Good strength shown by Sakalis and a well-timed ball. Good weight behind the pass. Coleman gets a leg through it, and you can see the movement in the strike and how the ball wobbled around. It's a tricky one there.
Folletta. Looking for Janchevsky. And India Paige Riley does really well just to shepherd it out of play there. And Handcuff to get things back underway. Brankin. Long ball forward and cut out by Perth. Coleman. Janchevsky. Janchevsky in for Coleman. A great ball. The American now across the face. Lowry unable to follow up once more. Once again, Hannah Lowry just not clinical from that close range. Rigby does well, but just goes out of play.
Oh, well, Perth are going to be ruining these missed chances. A really good bit of build-up play. Lovely from Coleman, and I thought for a moment Janchevsky was going to unleash on that left foot as she has so often before, but the cutback from Coleman was excellent. Just couldn't quite meet the run of Hannah Lowry, but there's another chance gone begging for Perth Glory.
Norrie skips past one. Plays it over the top for Palmer. A good first touch off the knee. Now Connors from range. A spectacular strike off the woodwork and followed up by Margot Rabin, but over the bar. And geez, Shay Connors, I should say. Well, she's in a purple patch.
Well, Shay Connors, you just can't give her any amount of time or space. What was so impressive about getting that shot away was hardly any backlift off that left foot.
Anton. There's one back by the Roar. Fryer now, streaming away for Brisbane. Has Connors in the middle. Palmer at the back post. The ball in now. Palmed away by Aquino. Palmer makes herself some room. That's brilliant from Palmer. And it is blocked by Perth Glory. But how about the footwork from Holly Palmer?
Well, that's a blistering run there. from Sian Fryer. Really well done to shake off the challenge from Tash Rigby, who had worked so hard to try and get herself back. Morgan Aquino overcommitted on the cross.
70 minutes gone in this game, 20 to play. And a whole lot of pride as well. Connors just trying to lay it off for Margot Rabin. Could manage to do so. Coleman, great turn. Now almost beating Jamila Rankin, but still alive for Perth. And is blocked by Holly McQueen. And Rankin able to clear. And a change being made as well. Demi Koulazakis coming on, as well as Tian McKenna. And two coming off as well, Izzy Folletta and Sarah Kane. Finish their involvements in this season. And Tian McKenna, sister Letitia, playing at Melbourne City, former Brisbane Roar player as well. A promising young player who's just called into the young Matildas squad for Leah Blaney's team there. A great opportunity for her. Will be in the 2024 AFC Under-20 Women's Asian Cup qualifiers as it's headed on by Gabriella Coleman. And she's had multiple opportunities today. And she punishes them now. Her third of the campaign. And what a timely manner.
Well, you could see the way she celebrated that one. But those frustrations from those first half missed chances. The delivery again from Hannah Lowry, just delightful. And Coleman checks nicely to the near post. A glance-in header, uncontested. And a really well-taken goal for Perth Glory. It feels as though that one has been coming for some time.
Well, she scored on Wednesday. She scored again today. Just sending it forward. Rankin over the top for Connors. Falls to her, takes a touch, almost creeps in, but Lowry off the line. She's here, she's everywhere. Hannah Lowry. But still the Brisbane Roar go. Both ends of the pitch for Hannah Lowry at the moment. Fryer. And it's blocked by Perth Glory. And another corner.
I really enjoyed this first time touch over the defenders from Rankin to try and find Connors, just to have the vision to know that there's a player in there. But how about this effort from Hannah Lowry off the line? Perth are just absorbing at the moment, absolutely scrambling to keep this one out of the net from Brisbane.
And that is full time. Not only in this game between Brisbane and Perth, but also Kim Carroll's career in what has been illustrious as it ends here at Perry Park. Brisbane Roar 0, Perth Glory 1.